Hey everybody. Hey, thanks for joining us. Grown Man Record Night. GD, it's a Friday. GD, it's a Friday. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Feels so good to get all the way to Friday. You do your thing during the week. You try to keep it fresh all week long, but you know that Friday is right around the corner. And that's what it's all about. It's all about just making it to Friday. Everybody's working for the weekend, right? For last time I checked, everybody working for the weekend. What you know about it, Cameron? What you know about working for the weekend?
It's been a while.
Yeah?
Yeah. Been a while since I worked for a weekend.
Right.
Yeah. I used to like it a lot.
Funny thing about the weekend when you're unemployed, just doesn't mean quite so much, except you get to hang out with your working friends. No.
Yep. That's about it.
It's still Friday. Friday still probably has a fresh feel for you, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, even with a...
Best day of the week.
Oh yeah, of course.
Still, it's always the best day of the week.
Yeah, Friday's where it's at. Mm-hmm. I described it to somebody the other day at work, talking about Friday. You remember when you walk in elementary school Friday, you see a film projector in your room, right? And I was like, just think, listen to me for a second. Film projector, brown paper towel, popcorn, stain. That'll blow your mind?
Popcorn stain on the brown paper towel.
That'll blow your mind?
Yeah.
That's the best Friday.
It's such a small thing of popcorn too, and
right.
I would make that little tiny pile of popcorn. Yes, I would make that tiny
sucking
pile of popcorn
on the kernel.
last
That's
for
where I
20
learned how to
minutes.
eat kernels and shit. You know what I mean?
Eat everything.
Yeah. But that's how I describe a dope Friday. When you walk in elementary school, you see a film projector. That's cool. Yeah, we show some films here. Grown Man Record Now. We're playing while we're playing some music. We show those films, some stuff I download from archive.org, some Prelinger archive stuff. We got some cartoons, some other stuff we play. You know, we had there's a show that we have done just a couple of times on Saturday nights featuring a fellow cohort of mine that we call Captain Car Wash. And the original idea of Captain Car Wash was kind of playing country records and some cartoons. And so we'd alternate from country records and cartoons. Cameron, if you would, let's go to let's just show everybody. We haven't really done this a whole lot. Let's go to the Captain Car Wash graphic. And let's just show everybody what Captain Car Wash is all about. It could be a cool show. We don't really do it much.
I don't remember where it is.
It's in there.
Oh wait, I got you. Here it is.
Look at that right here. Here we go. See that, folks? Captain Car Wash. We may bring that back one of these days. Play some different records on a different night that we don't normally play. You know, because there's some things that we would not want to play necessarily on Grown Man Record Night. But Captain Car Wash would be all about it. I don't know. We may bring that back. We may bring that back. I want to always remind folks that all of these segments here, even though we're broadcasting live on Ustream, which we do every Friday night, 8:30 p.m. to...
For how long now?
Jesus, I don't know.
For how long
We're
now?
coming up on that.
Yep.
We're coming up on that. Hey, your oven's beeping. But not only do we broadcast live on Friday nights on the Ustream.tv, but we also have a YouTube channel. And here on the YouTube channel, what we do is we upload all these talk show type segments where we have guests and different people drop by. And you're going to want to go to youtube.com/MacheteMiller, subscribe to us and like us and watch our videos, for crying out loud. We put videos on the internet. You know, the least you can do is go on there and watch them. I take all the time. to put videos on the internet. And you go on there and watch them.
You know what? We need a Ustream graphic.
We should.
Because maybe people on the YouTube don't know what Ustream looks like.
They should go watch them.
They should. They should watch us live. The people who only see us on YouTube should watch us live
That's
also.
true, because we do all this music stuff, and we can't put that on YouTube because they're about it. Speaking of YouTube, we are at 77 subscribers at this point. I know I'm a little behind on uploading things to YouTube. We're going to work on that. But we're up to about 77 subscribers. When we hit 100 subscribers, we're going to have a contest. And I've got some really dope prizes to send out to some folks. And we're going to have some more information on that. We've knocked around the idea. I think we've pretty much got it nailed down. But we're going to wait till we get the 100 subscribers. So we're at 77. So tell your friends, tell your uncle Richard that's in prison. You're going to want to tell him to go on down to the YouTube channel and subscribe to us. He gets time in the computer lab once a week. Once a week. So take that time, go to youtube.com/MacheteMiller, subscribe to the page. It's not too much to ask. All right? It's not too much to ask. We appreciate you. Okay. But speaking of which, what Cameraman alluded to just a few minutes ago is that this is coming up. This is, let's see, this show right here would be number 51, meaning next week would be our official 1-year anniversary. That's crazy business.
If you count 52 weeks as a year.
Yeah, there was a couple weeks we couldn't broadcast because of Ustream or because of internet issues or whatnot. And I think we originally started September 28th, 2012. So for a calendar year, it would have been like last week, but 52 shows will be next week. So it's going to be a 1-year anniversary. And we have reasons to celebrate. I'm pretty sure it looks like I'm going to have a job for another year. And so what we're going to do, if I have a job for another year, but I don't want to jinx it, so I'm not going to say anything.
You're going to buy a new ham radio rig, right?
Well, I may do that too.
And a fancy 4K camera.
We'll make it rain all over.
Fancy 4K camera for the show.
Yeah. Red cameras, man. That's where it's at. Yeah, red. But what we're going to do is a new thing called a French fry party. So if you're hip to the skip, go Google French fry party or potato party, and you can kind of get a little bit acclimated to the type situation we're going to provide here in a couple of weeks when we have a real celebration. We're going to have the house is going to be packed. We're going to do a live show. It's going to be bananas. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that. And well, let's just get on with it. Let's just damn get on with it. Let's talk about some of the tracks that we played this evening. Played some, I'm gonna slide that over there. Played some cool stuff, really mixed it up, man. You know, we've been doing that. We're not doing this structured format anymore. We're just trying to, you know, keep things moving in a nice, cohesive fashion. You like that?
What we were doing is listening to feedback, which is great.
You don't eat your feedback.
We like feedback here.
Do you eat your feedback?
We like for people who enjoy us to tell us what they would like, and then we would see if we can accommodate.
That's a good point. By the way, if you want to ever ask a question to the program while we're live here, you're going to want to tweet at Terry Jonquil on Twitter. We don't have a graphic.
We don't have a graphic for that.
I posted that information earlier, but if you hit us up, I'll read your question live on the air, and you know, we'll field it. If it's about records, I know some things.
You will eat that feedback.
I'll eat this
feedback.
You will,
won't you?
Let me say this. I'm no expert on records. I'm a big-time music fan. You know, I'll have a lot of records. Cameraman's got a lot of records.
I've got way too many.
We know some things. Away. We know some things. We're not experts. We're not like one of those guys, but we're learning. I played music for a long time, and I've enjoyed music for a long time. And so I like to think that I know music pretty well. But with the record game, hey, man, I'm still just getting my feet wet. You know what I'm saying? So meeting a lot of cool people that are hipping me to a lot of cool things, and that's really cool. You know what I mean? I don't know. We don't know everything. We just put it out there. We float it like it's an air biscuit out there. Float it. Air biscuit out there. And people hip us to all this cool information. And they help us out because they're friends of ours. And they're friends of the program. USA.
Who doesn't like Friends?
Who doesn't like the USA? Karma, quit barking. Who doesn't like the USA?
Well, some people don't.
Oh, sure. Okay. So anyhow, let's see. We got some people hitting us up here. Here are people hitting us up.
Really?
Yeah, we got some people hitting us up. So we're going to field a few questions as we have some things come in. But let's talk a little bit about what we played earlier in the evening. Hey, we started off a little weirdo for us here. One of my favorite records. We've been down this road. I'm not going to bore you to death. Boards of Canada, Tomorrow's Harvest. We played side 3 of this. Gee whiz. Came out earlier this year, much anticipated. go back and watch old shows if you want to hear me run my mouth about Boards of Canada. I'm not going to do that right now. But it was cool jamming that up front at first. Cameraman even mentioned something about it. He's like, oh, I'm usually asleep by the time you're playing this kind of shit. And that's true. That's kind of a late night kind of vibe. But I was like, you know what? Let's just flip the script and start off with it. That's a little different. But coming out right out of that, a little weird change of pace. We played Dr. Hook. Man, I love some Dr. Hook. This is Dr. Hook and the Medicine Show, Dr. Hook. And love this record. Picked it up for just a couple of bucks not too long ago, man. I mean, for this is the only Dr. Hook I have, and I really dig this. That first song about giving up all the drugs for the woman, that's a cool song. I don't remember what that's called. What's that called? Something about natural. Making It Natural. What a dope song. So Dr. Hook, man, check this out. It's on Columbia. That's good time stuff. Followed this up with a present from the girlfriend last Christmas. It's a Thelonious Monk album called The Unique, Riverside 12209. Don't know a lot about this. I've looked it up, and it's hard to find a lot of stuff about this. This is obviously a reissue. Just came out a couple of years ago, and it's really highlights crazy-ass Thelonious Monk well. And
it's really high quality, too.
It's really high fidelity on Riverside. And let me tell you what, man. Dude was out there, and I really appreciate that and really connect with musicians that are, you know, really thinking outside of the old B. You know what I'm saying? Followed this up with, I have to say, the reason I played this track this evening, album, record, is because last night Cameron and I sit here on the old Netflix application on our PlayStation. We watched one of those VH1 classic album deals about Steely Dan's Asia album. And, oh man, what a great little doc. Talked about all the different ways that they brought these different studio musicians in and recorded this stuff. And I was really unaware of the type of high-level production that went into this record and how out there these guys were. And it's a different type way of recording a record. And it's really cool, and it made me just be like, you know what? I got to play this. This is 77 on ABC. This is the AA pressing, AA 1006 with a dash in it. So yeah, we jammed that, and that's just, it's great all the way through. And now that I've seen the little behind the scenes on how they recorded and they soloed some of the tracks, it's even cooler, because now
How Michael McDonald, I'm sorry I'm not on mic.
Yep.
Michael McDonald,
how Michael McDonald
sang
when I saw no mirror.
every note in the chord.
Yeah, it was weird. And how the harmonies were so tight that Michael McDonald couldn't keep up.
Chord. He wasn't just singing the chord.
Yeah, it's somebody sent me a friend request. I don't know who this is. It's some guy. That's cool. I'm down with it.
Do they seem friendly?
They seem kind of friendly. A guy named Gilbert. Looks like he may be in the VC. Hey, that's cool, Gilbert.
Hey, Gilbert is one of your favorite television characters ever.
Revenge of the Nerds, Gilbert?
Beaver.
Oh.
Your friend Gilbert.
Gilbert.
You love Gilbert.
Yeah. Gilbert from Leave It to Beaver. Interesting little factoid here. Gilbert Bates from Beaver was played by, what's his damn name, cameraman? Stephen Talbot. Stephen Talbot was a famous documentary producer. He'd worked for Frontline on PBS, really, you know, highbrow type documentary news journalism business on PBS for years. I don't remember how many years, but years and years and years. And yeah, so Gilbert from Leave It to Beaver went on to be a really cool documentary, hard-edged journalist producer that made things happen on the TV box.
He made TV for people.
3, 2, 1. Welcome to Grown Man Record Night. I felt like that whole last part was a bust. I know so much about Gilbert, and I felt like I couldn't get it out.
I could jiggle the wire and you could be in black and white again.
No.
Remember how
I feel like I know so much. I took this quiz online about Leave It to Beaver, about how well you knew Wally and Beaver's friends. I got 100%. This is no surprise to anybody here in the house, folks. But
you know, it's like the 55th or 56th anniversary today of Leave It to Beaver.
Really?
Yeah,
Today?
Jerry Mathers tweeted about it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's good time.
Oh, there's a picture of him sitting with Eddie, Lumpy, Wally, and Beaver all sitting together at a table. Like it was maybe a few months.
Well, you know,
to a year
Lump
old.
died last year.
Who?
Lump. Frank Bank.
Well, that must have been 2 years ago.
He passed in 2012.
He was in the picture.
Yeah. God rest Frank Bank, old Lumpy Rutherford, Clarence. I'm getting sidetracked. So what else we kept playing here was little Buddy Miles. A Message to the People. Rescued this out of a really bad situation. Buddy Miles album I wasn't familiar with, but look at this cover and this gatefold. Look at the back of the gatefold. That's good time stuff right there, folks. Look at that. Look at the detail on that. That's one of those you about want to put up in a damn frame, for crying out loud. Followed that up with one of my favorites I've picked up here in the past year, probably. It's a Fleetwood Mac album. This is Future Games. Now this is, what is it, 73? I think it's 73. No, 71. No, what was it? 71. Warner Brothers. This is great. Now this features Danny Kerwin, Christine McVie, Bob Welch, Mick Fleetwood, John McVie.
Did you say Danny McVito?
Nope. Danny Vito. Playing ukulele or something. I don't know. Great Fleetwood Mac album. One of my favorites. It's really up there toward the top for me. So we jammed some of that. That was great. Mixing it up, came back with a little Jimmy Smith and Wes Montgomery, one of my favorite covers. This is Jimmy and Wes, the dynamic duo. This is on the Verve. 60, I can't remember. Oh man, this is just, everything about this record screams me and my manhood. But look at this cover. Let's take a look at this cover. We can't talk about this record and not show that cover. One of my favorites of all time. And I love, the Verve is probably my favorite label. Everybody loves some Blue Note, but the Verve is #1 in my heart. I have to say, the way their covers, the paper stock, the record, the inner label, it's everything the Verve does is right up my D alley. Right up my D alley. I'm gonna try to see. Okay, Sean says he's walking around his neighborhood watching me on his iPhone. Hey, that's cool, man. We're making the transmission a little short skip up there in New Jersey.
Phone.
That's awesome. Hey, the last record we played, not really the last one, but the last one I'm going to talk about right now, a little Fatback. Just kind of pulled it out on a whim. This is Fatback 24 karat, or 14 karat, I'm sorry. 1980 on Polydor. And, you know, Fatback has a lot of good albums. They've got a lot of slow tracks.
They've got a lot of good songs. Every album's got a bunch of slow ones on it.
Yeah, every album's got some dope tracks. Every album's got some slow tracks. But they're good. Overall,
yeah.
I kind of sleep on them a little bit. You see them around a bunch, but you put them on, man, they'll get a room moving. You know what I mean? They'll definitely get a room moving. So let's see what other questions we got here. Because I wanted to really field a question on the air. And, okay, we got one from Jerry. Jerry in New Haven, Connecticut, wants to know some tips for hitting the local Goodwill and thrift store spots. Jerry in New Haven, Connecticut. So I'll tell you what, Jerry. Cameron and I are going to break down. I'll tell you what. Let's break down a few quick little tips for hitting a local Goodwill, and that's very topical for our dig of the week this week.
Is New Haven on the same time zone that we're in? Okay.
It's Eastern Standard, Eastern Daylight, as of right now.
Just making sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'll affect my answer.
Okay, sure. Hey, let's bring a little bit of that Appalachian spring water out while just a little bit of it. We don't need a whole bunch. We don't need a whole bunch. Are there records playing? What do we listen to? A little Shirley Scott. This came from the WCVF, the Rochester, Fredonia, New York. What is that? What are you throwing at me? Okay. So Jerry has asked about hitting Goodwills, and this is a good point, and it's something that's come up this week. I recently, this week, made probably one of the biggest Goodwill scores I ever have, ever. And it's from a Goodwill that cameramen used to go to quite a bit. And some of the VC members have said, dude, I live in St. Louis. I have never seen the kind of records that you're talking about from a Goodwill. Everything I see is like Andy Williams, Jim Neighbors,
Well,
maybe the occasional Herb Albert
I can
record.
interject. St. Louis is famous for ribs. So
Yeah.
if you look for ribs, you're going to find them. Records, I don't know.
True. But here's
Just throwing it out there.
Here's a thought. I'm just thinking, okay, you're in a Goodwill in St. Louis. St. Louis is a pretty big spot. How many Goodwills do they have? Are you making the rounds? Let me tell you, tip number one, you've got to have a rotation. You've got to have a certain number of spots, and I'm not talking about record stores here. I'm talking about digging spots. So we're talking Goodwills, thrift stores,
Salvation Army,
Armies,
Habitat Humanity Restore,
flea markets, whatever. You've got to have a rotation. You've got to stick to that rotation, and you've got to keep it moving. Check back in.
Also,
Other spots will produce more often than others, but you've got to keep that rotation
also
moving.
remember that there's probably, wherever you are, there's probably at least one or two other people interested in what might come in there.
Sure.
So sometimes you'll meet them in the store, and you'll say, "Hey, did you get the good ones?" And they have. And they'll say, "Here, I already got one of these. You want this one?" So, you know, yeah. I've had that happen.
Talk about going in there with an open
record
mind.
you want, you find one they want, you trade it out right there in the store before you buy them.
Let's talk mind frame. You walk into a Goodwill. Talk about what state of mind you should be in when you walk in there.
Okay, the most important thing about going into a Goodwill,
Right.
you can find great records there.
Sure. Yeah, okay.
The most important thing to remember is to keep an open mind. Go in there and look around the whole store and see what they might have that you might like.
Aside from records.
Yep. I bought an old guitar amplifier from the 1950s
Right.
for $8 because I just happened to look over in a random shelf in the store. That one just sold on eBay recently for $400.
Ooh.
And this one works. So go into Goodwill, look around, see what you... I shouldn't even say that. It's not a secret now, though. It's not a secret.
No.
There's still only going to be a
This
few
is
that
worldwide.
actually get up and go do it, so we'll put it out there. You can go on YouTube and find videos of people doing
So
that. and
variety
selling on
would be
eBay.
the spice of life. Take a peek.
Look around.
And even specifically with records, Goodwill gives you an opportunity, or a place like that, to check out a record for $1 that you may not otherwise be willing to check out. And I've done that, and it's worked to my advantage. Some things that you're like, I don't know. It's got a weird cover. It's got a chick that's got some boobs on it. I don't know. I'm going to buy it. It's $1. And you come home and put it on, and you find some new things that you like. That's a good tip right there. Just keep it open in general. Keep it open. Keep your rotation fresh. Keep it moving. Always check your spots. Don't get caught slipping. Check your spots, because the one spot you check every week, nothing. The 1 week you don't check it,
I go in there and I get the exciting hemp from Europe on Glad Hemp Records for $1 in perfect condition.
there you go. We've got some other examples of that, and that's why we bring this up. We hope we
For $1.
We hope we answered these questions, Jerry, New Haven, Connecticut. We hope we answered these questions, and we're going to keep answering these questions on this week's edition of Dig of the Week. So this Dig of the Week is going to be very topical for what we were just mentioning. And we're talking about, this is one of my most ultimate epic Goodwill scores. And this is a Goodwill here in central North Carolina that I've been to a couple of times. Cameraman used to frequent it very often. He worked down the road. It was very convenient. That was like his local spot. This is one of the Goodwills that produce. We have a lot of Goodwills around here. There are several that produce on a regular basis. And there's other ones that you may find the straggler and be like, oh shit, look at this. A Kinks record. But there's this one that consistently produces. Really no rhyme or reason why it does. He used to have the headed off at the pass
Yeah, it was about 4 minutes from where I worked. And I stopped by there on Fridays when I got my paycheck. I go to the bank, and then I go to Goodwill.
Yeah. And so
spend half my paycheck.
He hadn't been doing that recently. So when I had an opportunity when I was close by, I decided, well, let's check it out. And I'm really glad I did. 2 shelves about like this full of records. And went through pretty much the whole first stack. The first stack, I'll tell you what I picked up. We listened to it a little bit earlier. A little John Cougar Mellencamp American Fool. Kind of a guilty pleasure of mine. I don't have any John Cougar. Excuse me. I didn't have any.
I'm still waiting for him to change his name to Cougar Mellencamp.
Didn't really require any. But this was a buck. You know, it's the 82. Riva Records Incorporated.
Remember when he switched his name around?
But we checked out Hurt So Good and Jack and Diane, and I like Jack and Diane because it's got
Do you remember that?
What's that?
When he switched his name around.
Yeah, I do remember that. He got older and got cancer.
See, this is the John Cougar stage.
This is old school. Let's see. We got. Let's see. I got a question here. How many holes before you throw out old boxer shorts? That comes from Avid Dog. How many holes before you throw out old boxer shorts?
What is this part of the Q&A there?
Yeah, let's take that down. What you got for it? How many holes before you throw out a pair of boxer shorts?
There's really only one really large hole that causes a problem for me.
Right? Where at?
The area that I
downstairs
use for.
I'll fold this into 2 categories, folks. There's 2 hole areas on. I don't wear boxer shorts. I wear boxer briefs. I'm a boxer briefs guy. There's 2 hole areas that become deal breakers for me.
What you're saying, hole like WHOLE?
Nope. Or HOLE.
Okay.
Okay. You can either have the bottom hole crotch hold out to where all your junk is airing out. That gets to be a problem. Also, like the ass area, like the top beyond, just below the waistband, where your like pants start hitting like your bare ass, where you would normally like sweat when you get, when you lift a couple of boxes at work and then you get a little sweat going on. Those are the 2 areas that are deal breakers.
Hey, that reminds me of a joke.
So it's not a matter of how many holes or whatnot.
It's where they are.
It's where they are. You're talking crotchatorium. You're talking upper Buddy Hoyle.
I got a bad joke for you. Want to hear it? Speaking of uncovered.
Let's do it.
What's the worst thing about being in a hospital gown?
What's the worst thing about being in a hospital gown?
Yeah, you're always embarrassed. I wish we had some crickets.
We're going to pick that up. 3, 2, 1. We'll just edit that right out. We don't need that in there. We'll just edit that right out of the show. Okay, let's continue on. We appreciate Avid Dog for sending that in. That's a cool question. I don't know where Avid Dog's from. We'll figure that out here coming up. Hey, girlfriend. You want another pull of moonshine? You should. Or put some of this macaroni and cheese lip balm that I have on your lips. That smells like a troll's hole. Okay, we'll keep it moving. What else did I find this week? Oh, I turned it the wrong way. I about gave away the damn shit. I found, hey, check it out. Arlo Guthrie. I dig Arlo Guthrie. I didn't think I liked the mug, but I like the mug. This is an Arlo Guthrie record called Last of the Brooklyn Cowboys. Woo! That sounds awesome. I don't know squat about this. It's 73 on Warner Brothers. Got a little gatefold with some lyrics in there. The back gatefold's got a Mr. Cowboy scene on there. Look at that cowboy. Yeehaw! So I'm going to dig on some Arlo Guthrie. Cool. That was a buck. Come on now. Come on with it. Arlo Guthrie. Hobo's Lullaby. Another one. This is a gatefold. Oh, it's got a cool gatefold with a little line drawing on it. Look at that right there. How about that? I'm going to tilt that up about it. You want to hold that up? Hold it to my... Are you mouthing words? Yeah. That takes me way longer than if you just said it? From the top? It's got a record in there, though.
Now drop it down. They can see you and the record.
Yeah. There's me.
There you go.
There's a record.
There's you and the record.
There's me. There's a record. Hey, that's cool. Check him out. He's on there. He's got his little Railroad cap. My daddy used to wear a railroad cap like that when he went fishing. He wore a railroad cap and some overalls. Look at that back picture. It's a pretty cool one. We got a youngin on there. It looks like a 70s youngin. That's pretty cool, right? All right. Couple of new Arlo Guthries. That's cool. I'll check those out. Ran across this. Kind of a guilty pleasure. Kind of a like, I can't let this sit in there. Flock of Seagulls. Listen. This is 83, so it's not the one. It's not the one that's got the one on it. But I just couldn't leave this in here for $1. And I'm thinking about Pulp Fiction, where he points a gun at him on the couch. You, flock of seagulls. And I just had to buy it. But look at these dudes on the back. Cameraman, I'm going to need you to just do me a favor. Before you even do that, whatever it is that you're doing, I want you to do that instead. All four of those guys. Let's just get tight shots of all of them. Let's give them all their due. That's what a gentleman looks like. If you want to score some cat, that's how you score cat, folks. You look like that.
Oh, he's throwing gang signs.
You got gang signs. You got haircuts. You got all kinds of things going on. That's how you get cat right there. Flock of seagulls. So I'm interested to check this out. Here's a couple that let's see. Oh, zip. Found within this 2 Rush records for $1, and they look like in pretty decent shape. This is Signals, and this is a Farewell to Kings. Both of these were $1. Of course, this is 82. Of course, this is I don't know. Jesus. And these are in decent shape. That's 77. Farewell to Kings is 77. This is 82.
1977.
I'll tell you, this is a story I'm not necessarily proud of. There was also a Hank Williams box set in there. Big Hank Williams fan. Cameraman, Hank Williams fan?
You like him?
You like him?
The music, yeah.
You like the music?
Yeah, I enjoy the music.
F&A. We're both big Hank
Actually,
Williams.
I enjoy all 3 generations. Of
Absolutely, me too. But
recently.
Both of us have quite substantial Hank Williams collections, right?
I got a few.
Decent. We got both decent collections. My favorite song, not included on any of these, and it drives me crazy.
Did you see it somewhere?
So, okay, here's the deal. They had a 4-disc box set. Some of them look like somebody went over them with a damn screwdriver. And it just looked terrible. But I saw that one side had my favorite song on it, and I was like, oh, please, please. So I pulled that one out, and sure enough, this disc with my favorite song called Long Gone Lonesome Blues, which is featured in a baseball movie called Long Gone, which I met a guy that played in it. Long story, we'll cover that some other time. You like white meat or dark meat? I eat some both. So they had it, and it was in good shape. So I pulled it out, and I totally thought I was going to get up to the counter and be like, hey, I pulled this out of this 4-box set. I want to pay $1 for this like the rest of the records in the thing. And I put it in this Rush thing right here because it's inside of this. And I put it in there, and then when I got up there, when I got up to the counter, I forgot to tell them. So I kind of stole this record.
That just means next time you go in there, you're going to give them extra money for one.
I'll probably give them an extra $1.
Give them an extra $2.
I'm not one to steal things, folks. I don't like stealers. Stealers that's jokers, man. That's who ends up.
Stealers or jokers.
That's who ends up in hell with the Kennedys, right? 3, 2, 1.
Only the dead Kennedys.
Oh. I jello be off for what you're saying.
3, 2, reset.
1. So I picked up that Rush record, Signals, Farewell to Kings. Looking forward to jamming these. They looked like they were in okay shape. They're Goodwill shape. It's not mint. It is what it is. I got a couple of records that after I checked out, for crying out loud, I was already at the front. I had a stack of records. I paid like $11. And then I looked up at the front and I was like, oh, man. And there was like 3 crates of records sitting right there. And this old lady behind me reached over, tapped me on the shoulder, and said, "You know you're going to have to go through them other crates of records up there before you go."
Did she really?
And I was like, yes, I'm aware of that. I'm aware that nothing in the universe is going to keep me from going these other crates of records, even after I've already paid.
Awesome.
But thanks for bringing that up to my attention, Skin.
That's cool. She was like, you know what, honey?
Yeah.
You know you're going to have to do that.
She was giving me the business. She was giving me the business.
Razzing you a little bit.
I don't mind. I don't mind old lady giving me the business. So in the 3 crates, aside from what I'd already picked up, there was a Fleetwood Mac Mirage, covers in garbage shape, record in great shape. It looks like, and maybe it's not, but we'll jam that. Also, CCR, Green River, phenomenal shape. This is what really turned me around. The Fleetwood Mac, I was like, oh, I'll see that somewhere else. This is in great shape. I've got a bunch of CCR. This is by far, it looks like on the surface, the best copy of Green River I've seen. And I'm really stoked to have that because I love CCR. That's one of my first favorite bands. So let's get on down to it. I got a couple I'm going to tease cameraman with here for a second.
Because I should have been there and got those.
It's funny, I was talking to a gentleman friend of mine earlier in the evening, and we were talking about these 2 artists, and I found them sitting next to one another in this Goodwill. And we're talking about Steve Earle and the Dukes. This is Exit 0, 87 on MCA. Steve Earle wrote a lot of
1987?
great... 1987? Yeah, wrote a lot of great country songs, played with a lot of great folks. Americana, country. You want to see that? Let's take a peek at that. Really stoked to hear what this sounds like. Steve Earle is just... he's got a son that's doing big things nowadays, Justin Townes Earle. And who Justin Townes Earle is partially named for? This gentleman right here, Townes Van Zandt. And I am really stoked to pick this up. This is Townes Van Zandt record. Let me tell you a little something about Townes Van Zandt. This guy, major drug problems. He was way out there. He was an Americana, folk, country kind of singer-songwriter. Way out there. Did a lot of drugs. Wrote a lot of great songs. Like a lot of people on drugs do. Unfortunately. You know, I wish you could do things sober. There's a lot of people that do a lot of hard drugs that write a lot of incredible shit. What am I going to do? Argue that? I'm not going to argue that. It's a sacrifice that you may make. But this is an 87 record on Sugar Hill, which releases a lot of great...
Is that 1987?
Yeah, releases a lot of great bluegrass stuff,
I'm a big
right?
fan of Sugar Hill.
Sugar Hill Records, they're out of Durham, right? Yeah, Durham, North Carolina. About an hour up the road from us.
And I don't know about a lot, but they've had really high quality per...
This guy was... he died fairly early. He was really bad substance abuse problems. They ended up going in. He was a little bit crazy. They did some of those like shock therapy things like they did to Rocky Erickson. Right? The same shit. It's basically the same damn story.
And if you don't know Rocky Erickson, look him up. He
13th floor elevators.
Boy, he deserves it.
Yeah. I mean, but it was the same kind of story. Let's hold this cover up. It's the same kind of story. Phenomenal singer, songwriter, really had some substance abuse problems. And they shocked the shit out of him and turned him into a damn freaking retard by the time things were said and done. And then he died of complications from being, you know, an asshole for his life. You know what? It is what it is. But we're going to check this out. We may check this out when we dip down here. We'll have to check the shape. I'm not even checked. The Steve Earle's in great shape, cameraman saying. Yeah. Hey, that's Steve Earle, man. He played with a lot of cats in Nashville. And a lot of people were saying, like, he is bringing it heavier and harder and gnarlier than anybody in Nashville at that time, like in the 80s. Like, Steve Earle was one of those guys that were, like, groundbreaking.
He's the one that did that Christmas song.
'Cause Nashville can be a little bit, but then he kind of brought it. You know, that's cool. That's really cool. I like country cats that really bring it. You know what I mean? Because you can get lost in the mix of just kind of singer-songwritery, you know what I mean? Okay.
I play guitar and sing in a key of G.
Yeah. So what? So does everybody. So does everybody. So you got to really be able to bring it. Speaking of being able to bring it, I'm talking about 3 digs of the week here. I don't have any of this artist in my collection, and I'm very proud of this. And this stands to what I was just saying. Hey, if your local Goodwill doesn't have good shit, keep hitting it. Put it on a rotation. Hit, 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 hit. This is not shit I see every time. This Goodwill, I would say this score would be a 1 in 100 score. Because that Townes Van Zandt record, oh geez, I'm throwing things. This Townes Van Zandt record, it's about 35 bucks. And this is in fantastic shape. The cover's in great shape, the record's in great shape, but it's a 1 in 100 type situation. Putter. It's a 1 in 100 type situation. So you're going to have to go to this Goodwill 100 times to score on something quite this epic.
No.
Yes.
Nope.
Yes. Of this entire score.
I'd say more like you'd have to go there 60 to 70 times.
I would say more.
No, that place is really
It's a good
good.
Goodwill.
I have found a lot of good stuff there.
Absolutely. But you still have to bide your time because
you got to keep going, and you got to beat the other guy there.
Absolutely. So here's what I'm talking about, folks. 3 Bob Dylan records. I don't have any Dylan in my collection. Now I got 3 Dylan records. I don't know what kind of shape these are in. They're sort of suspect, but not crazy suspect. We're talking Bob Dylan, bringing it back home. This cover is shit shape, but this is the real. Whoa! It's falling out the bottom. Falling out the bottom, but I don't think the record is in that bad a shape. No, it's really not. Gee whiz. No, it's not at all. Not at all.
All you gotta do is tape that carton up. You can put tape on it.
Hot glue. There's some videos on YouTube about hot gluing your covers back. 65, man. Bob Dylan bringing it all back home. This is my first Dylan record. Look at that. It's a cool. Pinch that down so it don't fall at the bottom. Pinch the record in there. Look at that cover. Another Bob Dylan record. Let's see what we got here. Another side of Bob Dylan. All these are the original presses of this. This is 64. Okay? This is 64. Both of these are worth, probably in the shape they're in, 10 or 12 bucks probably. That's okay. But I mean, beyond that, it's Bob Dylan. And I didn't have any Bob Dylan. So look at this cover, man. Great classic stuff. Great classic stuff. And one final dig of the week. And cameraman, I'm going to need you to hold this up. There ain't no sleeping on this. This is the real deal. 1966, I believe. Bob Dylan, Blonde on Blonde, double LP, original pressing, mono. Hold this up. Hold that up. Go through the whole spiel for me. Give me a little time here. Give me a little time here, and I'm gonna tell you some things about this record. If my phone ever cooperates for me here. But it's 66. Oh, look at that. Look at the back cover and stand it up when you get done with that. You see that? You don't get that with MP3s, folks. That's a freaking poster. And if I remember right, this is one of the first double albums ever. That's the 7th studio album, released on May 16, 66, on Columbia. Numerous backing musicians. The band The Hawks. Lots of classic tracks. Completed the trilogy of the rock albums that Dylan recorded in 65 and 66, starting with Bringing It All Back Home, which is one of the other ones I picked up. Highway 61 Revisited, which I don't have. Critics often rank Blonde on Blonde as one of the greatest albums of all time. So this is no shit, man. This is hardcore stuff that I picked up. One of the best records of all time. That's crazy. Goodwill, $1 for that whole double LP. $1. You gotta bide your time, folks. Oh man, it might skip. We need to listen to that first. We can't just put that. No, we can't just put that on. No way. No way. Let's see, combining the expertise of Nashville session musicians with a modernist literary sensibility. The album songs have been described as operating on a grand scale musically while featuring lyrics one critic called a unique blend of visionary and colloquial. It was one of the first double albums in rock music. It's basically one of the greatest rock albums of all time. And I picked it up for $1. For $1, man. Are you kidding me? So anyhow, that finishes off our dig of the week. And that's one of my best and most favorite Goodwill hauls ever. All those came from Goodwill. All those records I talked about were no more than like $14 for the entire lot. That's crazy. And I just kind of stumbled in because I was close. Jesus, Harold Christ on an effing rubber crutch. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Keeping your nose to the grindstone. Keep rotating through your spots. So we're going to dip down for just a few minutes and listen to some Steve Earle and the Dukes. That's what's playing in the background. We got some Steve Earle and the Dukes. We may play some Dylan. We'll see if it's worth playing, if the condition's worthy. And then we'll come back with a chip chat and a so to speak. So stay tuned with us here on Grown Man Record Night. We sure do appreciate you. Boom. Hey, what you know about that, folks? Playing some of my first Dylan, a little blonde on blonde. Hey, it's not in the greatest shape. It's not like near mint or anything, but for $1, I'll take those little poppy guys all day long. Hey, I'll replace it one of these days with a real dope copy, but that's all right though. That's not bad at all. I didn't mind that. What a great record. Dylan, Blonde on Blonde. That's our ultimate dig of the week. And we're coming back right off of that with some Sandler and Young. Let's take a look at these gentlemen. In just a second. A little off the script. We're a little off the script. Let's look at these gentlemen. Sandler and Young. C'est so bon. They're on the move. What else you need me to say? They're on the move. That's big time business in action right there. Right there. Sandler and Young. I done worked myself up into a crawl. 3, 2, 1. I'm thirsty. What do we use to quench our thirst here on Grown Man Record Night? It's a GD double S. And we're talking about a little soda speak action. I got a couple of crazy sodas for you this week, folks. This is crazy talk. Crazy talk. I got one from my good friend Steve Jones. Got one from my good friend Josh Osley. Look at that right there. Hold that up. Now, what is that? What does that say? What kind of soda is that? Dry cucumber. Right? Okay. I think Steve said he got this at like the Fresh Market. So this is a dry cucumber soda. If you think about it, cucumber is very watery.
That might make a really nice soda.
That's a lot of water.
I like the flavor of cucumber.
There's a lot of water in cucumber, you know,
like
so it should be refreshing. Check out this ingredient list. It says 45 calories right here for this 12-ounce can. The ingredients: purified carbonated water, pure cane sugar, natural flavor, phosphoric acid. So it's some carbonated business, a little bit of sugar, and some cucumber flavor.
Phosphoric acid to make it like the soda.
So we're going to give this a go. It's not something it's caffeine free, less sweet. I like a little less sweet. So let's see what we got here. A little cucumber soda. Boy, this is different for us. I hope this is good. It's got a nice palate to us. Got a little nice palate. Let's check this out. I can get down with that. My only problem is that they're right. It's not very sweet at all. Almost tastes like a sparkling mineral water with a little cucumber flavor. My problem with the flavor is that it equals like body wash to me. Almost tastes like I maybe have swallowed a little too much.
Cucumber melon?
Cucumber melon body wash, which is my shit. That's my flavor. I'm a cucumber melon guy. I know that sounds like something a chick would wear, but I like that. I like the way it smells. This tastes like that. Maybe when it gets a little extra, might take a little pull of this.
Hey, I just want to say I'm there with you. I'm a guy, but I really like the way lavender smells.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. And milk and honey.
Oh yeah.
Milk and honey. That's a good flavor. Try that.
Smells good.
It smells good, and it's not very sweet, so I like that. It's clean, crisp, and refreshing. It's got a little bit of its own unique kind of yank to it, though.
I like that.
You like that?
I do like that. It's not cold enough.
It's
It
different.
needs to be colder.
It's different. That's a
Yeah.
different flavor. Yeah. Who knows?
It tastes like a garden.
It kind of got that fresh, earthy garden flavor, but it almost kind of tastes like.
We'll be
getting
ready
some-
for it.
Getting some
It
soap
tastes
in my
like a
mouth.
cucumber. It really does.
It tastes like maybe some soap in my mouth.
You got to get rid of some of the. It shouldn't be as carbonated as it is. If this was less carbonated, it would be tasty.
But it's not sweet, right?
no,
it's pretty-
no,
it's
it don't
pretty-
need to be sweet. It just
no.
needs less carbonation.
Right.
It's too metallic-y.
I do give them credit for just making it with 100% pure cane sugar, and it's still only freaking 45 calories, which tells me there ain't shit in it for sugar,
There's barely any in there.
which is great. I can get by with that. The flavor's take a little getting used to. Moving
Yang.
on.
It's got a yang.
It's got a yang to it. Moving on. How about coming up on the fall season here? I like autumn. Autumn is probably my favorite season, Cameron. How about you? You like the autumn?
Yeah, it's definitely my favorite season.
You like the autumn too?
Definitely
Sure.
my favorite season.
Fall's a good time. You got the F apostrophe ball. Set. You got World Series ball.
You got the best holiday of the year.
Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving.
Absolutely. Fall's a good time, man. I like the colors. I like the feel. I like the sports. I like it all the way around. Fall's a good time of the year. And what goes better with fall than a little pumpkin pie? And our friend Josh has brought us a little pumpkin pie soda from the Maine Root Company. Handcrafted beverage, Portland, Maine. So Maine Root has put out this, let's show it off before we even crack it open. Maine Root, which is a pretty reputable soda company, has put out this pumpkin pie soda. Now, I like the pumpkin beers. There's some different varieties out there. There are some that taste more like pumpkin. There are some that taste more like pumpkin pie. And what that equals to is a lot of nutmeg and brown sugar. Nutmeg, brown sugar, coriander sometimes. That gives you that pumpkin pie flavor. Aside from it, because some of them have tasted like raw pumpkin, like break out a hacksaw, take a wedge of pumpkin out in the field, akachonka, and go downtown on it.
Good fiber.
Yeah, it's good fiber, but that's got a certain flavor. That's not like it's sitting in a pie pan for a few hours with a bunch of sugar. That's got a different flavor. So let's try this out, because this is a pumpkin pie soda. So here we go. Oh, nice bouquet. Bouquet. Teddy bouquet. That is interesting. Very spicy. Like we lost connection for a minute.
Having some wideband issues here.
We're having
Whatever
some
that's called.
bandwidth issues. And we're still at low bandwidth. We're still at low bandwidth. It's terrible. People eating up our bandwidth. It's all these people. We'll have to keep a good eye on it.
Lock down that Wi-Fi security network.
No, it's locked down.
No. You got to put a password in.
It's password.
No. Like you got to type it on a keyboard.
So for some reason, I don't know. So anyhow, we've had a good soda speak. That's a good. Both of these have been very good, unique sodas. We're going to go right from the soda speak, right into a chip chat. We got a couple of chips we want to mention this evening. A couple of friends of the program have hooked us up. Let me just reiterate how much we appreciate Trisha Bailey hooking us up with the Excel spreadsheet of all the chips we've done on the program. It's really helpful for the people that hook us up with chips. And hey, have you tried these before? Yo, check the spreadsheet, son. And she checks it, and it's great. It's fantastic. What a great service. What a great service. Something Steve Jones picked us up this afternoon. Ruffles has come up with a crispy fries, cheese flavored. Okay, this is I've not seen these. Everybody's getting like 50 emails from me being like, oh, Grown Man Record Night's broadcasting because it keeps dropping out. Because Ustream is a bitch hole. Ustream's a bitch hole. That's the bottom line. But anyhow, Ruffles Crispy Fries. You see this in your local bodega? Which is good, right? Crazy good. Yeah. Okay. One more chip. We're just going to cancel it out. Ustream's being stupid. Trisha hooked us up with, from Trader Joe's, the Baked Snackos. Crunchy corn rings flavored with sweet onion seasoning. I'm excited about these. Absolutely.
These would look so good.
These would be in the vein of a Funyun or a Wise onion ring. So I asked her, she said she'd had them, which they were like, and she couldn't really weigh in on it. So we're going to see. Well, they're smaller O's.
Crispier, probably.
They're thicker, but I can already tell they're not very, like, rub. My problem with Funyuns, they rub your gums raw.
Oh, they do. They do kind of do that. The way some pork skins will.
These are much lighter than that. They almost kind of dissipate like a muncho in your grill. Get those, show those off. Holy crap. You know what they taste like? Corn Pops, the cereal. Those taste like Corn Pops. No kidding. Corn Pops. I might just end up using the restroom all over myself. Thanks for joining us here on Grown Man Record Night. We're going to go and back it down. Ustream's been a bitch and cutting us off numerous times, so forget it. We're going to keep playing records, keep hanging with us. We got a great selection of records coming up your way. We certainly do appreciate you. We'll catch you next week for what I guess will be our 1-year anniversary. We got to come up with some cool shit to do. If Ustream cooperates. We're going to have a great 1-year anniversary. We got some great things coming up. 100 subscriber contest coming your way for the YouTube channel. Go to youtube.com/MacheteMiller. Hit us up, like us, subscribe us. Do all the things that you do there. And when we hit 100, we're going to have a contest. Send out some dope prizes, some cool records, some things I've been putting back for a little bit. So thanks for joining us. We'll catch you next week. And as always, we sure do appreciate you. We'll see you next time here on Grown Man Record Night.